have a little bit of experience with Section 8 and stuff like that, but I too was also homeless once, and I know what it's like to struggle with that. Currently, I am a licensed teacher. I have been homeless before. I know what it's like. It's anxious. You're trying to go and definitely get your ducks in a row and try to go and do the best you can. There was education. With education, I am a teacher. In that, I'm a special ed teacher. I work with learning disability students, but I also come in contact with others. I've worked at Bridgeview in St. Paul, and that's working with extremely and profound students with developmental cognitive delays. I have also worked in Minneapolis, where I've worked with students that had housing issues and stuff like that. And so the education is kind of the key experience I'm bringing to the table here. I'm very much cognizant of the fact that I'm young and that I have more experiences and stuff that I need to have, and this is my kind of my gateway to doing that.
Thank you. Okay, and you're doing great, so just relax. You don't have to be nervous. The question kind of piggybacks a little bit on that, and that is maybe hit on one or two specific training or life experiences that you have that you feel that would be really beneficial if you were to serve on the Human Rights Commission.
My life experiences, I put in my application my heritage, and my heritage includes African American, Western European, and Native American. I've been kind of a cultural negotiator in the African American world, to the Western European world, to the Native American world. I currently, when I was going to college in Bemidji State University from 1996 to 2001, I worked for a sexual assault advocacy group, and I worked with a lot of Native American women there. I must say with a caveat, I was not acculturized in the Native American culture. However, I do try to reach out and try to listen as much as possible. So, I also take pride in the fact that with my life experience, I know what it's like to see both sides. I know what it's like to hear the other and also hear the other person as well, and try to go and find commonalities among us. And that's what the key thing is about the Human Rights Commission, I feel. I feel it should be something that evolves, something that is kind of a welcoming to Maplewood citizens. And that includes going into other cities where there are cultural groups, where their cultural offices are and stuff like that.
Awesome. Thank you.
What do you think will be the major challenges in reestablishing the Human Rights Commission in Maplewood?
The major challenge is getting out to the public what the Human Rights Commission's mission is and what we'll do with it. Like, again, I wanted to see it evolve. I want it to be able to go and welcome people, as well as go to community fairs and talk with people and see what is going on. I'd like to also work on the homelessness issue. I would like to also work on education, so we can have a contact and discuss what's going on in education.
This is a longer question, so I always want to make sure I read it so I get it right. As a commissioner, you could be involved in facilitating issues that may arise between individuals and or businesses in the community regarding housing, employment, public accommodations, and or services. What experiences and skills qualify you to perform this task?
I fall back to my being kind of a cultural liaison to many different cultures. I also, as an educator, have been in education, we talk about being collaborative and working with other people and knowing what to do, such as how to do conflict resolution, how to talk with another, see the other person's perspective, and come to a mutual understanding. And then making sure people are comfortable at the table, going through the process of compromise.
This is the last one. You can really relax now.
Okay.
This is also building on your background, but asking you to kind of expand it a little.
Okay.
Based on your life experience and your understanding of the mission of this commission, if you had the opportunity to set one goal or one major program for the Human Rights Commission, what would it be?
My goal, and I said it in my application as well, is to go out and be kind of an ambassador. Go into different cultures and talk to them about their cultural traditions and find out ways on how we communicate with them, how we can communicate with each other and understand each other. If I may take a little bit of time, I'll give some examples. For example, in the Native culture, you don't look straight in the eye. It's something that you look down as a sign of respect. It's little nuances like that that can make it or break it in terms of talking with people. And that's where I want to be able to, that would be my goal. And I would very much love it. Again, I've traveled to China, I've traveled throughout Europe, not having a really solid background in the languages and stuff like that, but there is something about the nonverbal communication we have as human beings and how we communicate and how we pick up on it. And just being honest and discussing the points and keeping everything on the table. I feel that we can make it work. We can make the Human Rights Commission really active, dynamic, evolving. Thank you.
That is the end of the formal questions. You had mentioned conflict resolution.
Yeah.
So have you had some training or classes in that, or is that something that just comes with your territory?
That comes with my territory with students. That's just basically, I'll talk about one experience. I was working with kids with autism, and sometimes with autism, the communication isn't there in terms of receiving it, in terms of sending it. And so it is quite difficult. And I had to work with two kids with autism. One was just aggravating the other. They were both aggravating each other. And I sat back and I had listened to both sides, and what it was is the disabilities that the kids had were kind of bumping against each other because it was hard with the communication and stuff. And so what I said is, one of the students, I said, what do you think about this? What do you think he's thinking? And try to put him in the role of him, and then the other person in the role of the other student. And there we were supposed to, we did get talking points. And at the end of it, a few days later, the student came up to me and said, thank you. This wasn't my student, this was another student. But I was doing conflict resolution with her, and she said, thank you, you listened very well. And that's the part of it, is the listening and coming to the table, having a set of rules, and saying, okay, we're not going to use offensive words, we're not going to use offensive language, we're going to go and do role reversal and understand what the other is thinking and stuff like that. And she thanked me. She thought I was actually, you know, I was a good listener for her and stuff. And so it comes with the territory. It comes with the territory of teaching. It's come with the territory of just being a cultural negotiator, which I've been all my life.
Yes, Mr. Lawrence?
I didn't mean to make that noise, I'm sorry. Well, anybody that, as you said, has the ability to work with significant and profound developmental cognitive delays in special education certainly would have the ability to have good listening skills for sure, and the patience of biblical figures.
Yes.
You'd mentioned one thing that keeps resonating with me, and that is many of the people that are applying for this position have training or life experiences or have served on various boards, and you said, this is something that I think I could contribute because of my personal thing. And I want you to you said, I have been a cultural liaison because of who I am and the communities that I've been a part of. How do you think that plays in Maplewood specifically?
How it plays in Maplewood is basically, we got to think about not only the people that are our residents here, but our future residents that are coming here. And we want to make it a place where it's safe, where people can discuss and feel safe about discussing. Education is one of the few institutions where we come together, and it's our kids. I believe in bringing and teaching kids the human rights, with teaching with tolerance and other things. I understand that other candidates have a lot of experience on boards and commissions, but what makes me stand aside is that I'm willing and I have the passion to go and talk with other cultures, people from different cultures. And not only do I mean not people from different cultures, but I'm talking about people from the Scandinavian culture, people from the Hmong culture, and I feel like all of this is what we have to do for Maplewood.
Really good. Thank you.
Any other questions from the council? Do you have any questions you'd like to ask us?
Yes, I do.
Go for it.
All right. Do I have time?
Yes.
Okay. My question is how does, what are some future goals that the Human Rights Commission would be? What are some of the thoughts that the City Council would like to see the Human Rights Commission do?
Does anybody want to try to answer that?
Yeah, that's why we're appointing the commission.
I think, from my point of view, that there's been a general feeling that we just have a void currently in the city when it comes to dealing with anything that falls in the human rights type of area, and that could be anywhere from some housing situations to people not getting along one way or the other. Could be cultural things, could be many other different things. And so we had a Human Relations Commission in the past, and along the way their role kind of got de-emphasized, and they really kind of lost their way. Eventually became that nobody really knew what to do with them, so we disbanded it. And so in the interim then, when we have decisions that we need to make, and frequently we have a wide range of decisions that we want to be able to consider all of the impacts that that decision will have, and we don't have anyone advising us on this particular area. And so we just felt it was time to try to get a group back that would spend time thinking about the people in our community and the vast array of nationalities that we have and different cultural habits. And also to, at least give the opportunity, if there is someone who feels that they're being taken advantage of in one way or the other as far as housing or, anything that falls in the human rights category, that they have an initial avenue to come to locally versus going to St. Paul or going to the state. And so we just wanted to get a little bit more of a local feel back to it again. This gentleman.
Also, part of it, and you referred to it in several of your answers, is that we want to be seen as a welcoming community, but that has changed drastically in the last years, and the amount of diversity, whether it's cultural or age, we just have a lot of it going on, and we are not meeting the need of people just being able to feel welcome and know what we're all about. So a lot of it has to do with, as you put it, reaching out and educating people. It's not, in my estimation, a review board to see if somebody's been wronged.